Alright everyone, welcome back. It is Dreaded D, the infamous pirate captain protecting Tfue Island. We are back with episode number 6 of the public collection. Today we're going to be talking about TRooVRS, and we're going to be going over some of the companies and participants that are going to be at Thetacon or represented there. I think that's going to be important and very relevant considering we're just about a month away. Seems crazy, but yeah, a month out. This is going to be very exciting. I'm looking forward to it very much. And without further ado, let us dive in and, as always, thank our First Division captains. Thank you, JJ, and thank you, Big Dog 1111. Thank you for supporting me at our top tier. I greatly appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing more of you in Patreon for more of our crypto content that's outside of the scope of Theta, as well as some of our equity content as well. Alrighty, let's dive in now. So, Theta announces TRooVRS as the first metaverse partner for Theta Metachain. This one's very exciting. I'm looking forward to see where this goes. They tout themselves as a men's editorial platform, and I agree that I think people are understating a lot of the times the connections that are being built online right now, especially by men, groups that are being facilitated, as well as now these connections. You end up talking to these people on a daily basis, right? You bond over one topic or a certain genre, and then the connection just continues and flourishes from there. Like personal experience myself, you get into topics and discussions where you are all very vested. Next thing you know, you end up meeting these people in real life. It's honestly one of the best experiences of my life, honestly, because you're really finding your tribe, and I think that's so important. It's not talked about enough. I think all of us seek to find like-minded people, and the world's so big, the internet creates such a great connection. Now we can do that on a much faster and easier scale, whether it's through Telegram, Patreon, YouTube. I think we're all now interacting within our own worlds, right? Now, what are the effects, or what are the, that's to be determined. What we've seen so far is, in the real world, obviously, the real world life isn't always catered or tailored to exactly what you like or what you desire, right? Or the same topics that you like. So we'll have to see how that shifts reality going forward. I think that'll be very interesting as we all kind of silo our information, our knowledge, and what that means for IRL friendships, in real life. So, but I definitely agree that things like this are necessary. I think if this builds out the way that I think it's going to, I might request a demo. I'm also looking forward to Thetacon and the keynote presentation that I see scheduled. Hopefully we'll get to see a little bit of action going on. I'm not sure. Don't hold me to that. But yeah, very interesting. Especially with the metaverse. I think the big thing with the metaverse, one thing I'm looking for is how do you transition people, because not everyone owns a headset, right? Not everyone can afford a $400 Meta headset, Quest, but I think what's important is building out the Web3 front end for the PC, in my opinion, and then creating a maneuverable layout, simple layout, in which you can maneuver around this metaverse using your arrow keys on your keyboard, and you can get a taste of what it's actually like, and you can get into these groups or these chats or these, this could be the extension of like Twitter Spaces, right? Where you get on a call with a bunch of people, but it's more interactive. You're all in a room or you're all in a conference hall. Digitally, I think this is just the base layer of that for these kinds of conferences to occur. I've already seen NFT gallery projects online where you can maneuver around and you can post all your NFTs that you own in your personal web wallet on MetaMask, and people can come and they can join you in there, and you can have voice content. So these things are becoming very real, as well as something like for me, right? I have a Patreon. I want to. What's exciting about doing the Patreon more so is I get to one, I get to be creative. I get to understand my costs or costs of this business better, right? Because posting and, hosting video content isn't cheap. You have to find a sustainable way to do it that's not going to break the bank, but also make it so that the content can't easily be reshared or taken from you, right? Because it's private content. So all these things play into it, and that's really what I like about Theta and why I got interested in it. Was these are the foundational building blocks of the future businesses going forward and how they handle these kinds of situations. So things like this are going to shift how potentially I run my business. Like maybe instead of a Patreon, we're in TRooVRS and I have a private room or a private group, right? And then like one of the tiers that I have, right? We could say, all right, First Division captains, we meet every Friday in VR, right? And then you have a representative avatar of yourself that we know you as, right? A deeper personal connection with my community, as well as like communication that is more in depth. I think that's like the next step. So things like that are going to be very, very exciting in my opinion. And as they say, and they've talked about this. I know it's mainly focused men's editorial. I think it's like a think of it like a virtual reality, in my opinion, of men's health. I think that's kind of where they're going with things, or they're trying to. Really looking forward to hearing more from them. But all these ideas are going to set up the future foundation for these business models, and I think that's exciting. But we'll see. We'll see how people are affected by this. Seeing these testimonies of people feeling better or more feeling comfortable when they attempt this, right, versus going out IRL. And then that allows them to get the confidence to do that because they're interacting. We're social beings at the end of the day. I've been in that mode where it's like, hey, you're working, distractions are out there and everything. But at the end of the day, you need social interaction, right? So make sure you find your tribe. Make sure you find good people to talk to, be around. And I think that's what's going to help you grow and thrive. So with VR, I'm excited. I want to test this out. This seems very intriguing. So especially with this, if this demo here is it's anything like what the real thing is, then it's pretty interesting. So we'll have to see what they bring, and then also what they post. I see that they're very active on Twitter. I'm looking. I'll make sure to tag them in this when I share it. But yeah, because I just want to make sure to give them a shout out because I've been interested in what they're doing. I keep coming back to their stuff. I keep coming back to this Medium page. So as well as the leadership is very interesting too. Adrian Want. So, leadership positions, NBC Universal, Univision, CBN. I also saw when I went on LinkedIn that he was also marketing for Walmart. So some people with some big credentials. So we'll see what they can do. NFTs, I think, is going to be a big piece of this. They've mentioned in one of their articles here. Here we go. Evolution of fashion and the avatars. Like, we all have avatars and characters within games and customization. Fortnite's a great example for some of the younger viewers. We've seen how different skins become, and them spending those V-Bucks in the game or those digital currencies in the game that aren't connected to Web3 or aren't outside that world. So now we're really entering to bridge that gap here. So depending upon, what happens going forward, the future's basically unlimited at this point. And just like everything, these skin marketplaces are very profitable business. And they mention it here: League of Legends, Fortnite, Overwatch, all these things. So, and different tiered out depending upon where you're at, what game you're in, right? Different skins, especially with Web3. different skins may require you to complete certain tasks, right? Like, you can't get this skin unless you achieve this, right? And then everyone that sees you within the game or that community knows that, hey, you're at that level. So I think those are kind of like those prerequisite, or those like clout, kind of like you're kind of flexing a little bit in the digital world there. And depending upon how big that game is, you may hold a certain light, or people may be able to interact with you deeper because of that, or they may be able to message you or talk with you, and it may open doors for you. Like, people don't think about that, but just those things alone may open doors for you. So, like, even for me, like, I started talking about Theta on a Theta live stream, and that opened doors because certain people were listening at the right time, right? Because I was helping a streamer at the time, set up his Edge node, and it not Edge node, this is way back. This was like Guardian node or pre-Guardian node way back in the day. And then the right person at the right time's listening, and life shifts from there, right? So just as an example, it can open doors when you start engaging in those those public relations, as well as putting yourself out there. And now with this kind of tech, you don't have to put yourself out there the same way. You don't have to even leave the house, right? That is a great example of that. I didn't even leave the house. I just offered to hop on the call. Bam, I'm hopped on a live stream on theta.tv, and from there, like, just as an example, that one moment, without that one moment, my life may have gone down a whole different path, right? So you have these pivotal points where your story is being built, and I think a lot of these metaverse plays are going to start shifting people's realities and futures in a very positive direction. So I'm really looking forward to see what they're going to do, and what their subchain is going to do, how much T-Fuel is going to be flowing through this thing. That's going to be very exciting, and what kind of base they're going to build. So I think this gives like a little overview on TRooVRS. I'm sure there's more to talk about, but I wanted to give you guys a video because I haven't given you guys a video in the public side. I've been so focused on the Patreon and making sure that they have content, but I'm trying to balance and rebalance back out, as well as because Thetacon's coming up. So apologies for that, but I will be coming with more consistent content going forward here. So without further ado, go check out TRooVRS. Go check out what they're doing over there, and let's give them some support, and look forward to seeing you all on T-Fuel Island. All right, everyone, take care. Have a good night.